Hey guys, welcome back to the Smith Family Ranch. Today we're going to talk about, what are we talking about?
Are miniature cows a fad or perfect for your homestead? Alright, so got into a discussion with Homesteading the Hard Way, which, by the way, go check out their channel. Chris and his wife do a great job of teaching and sharing their knowledge all the time. So go check out Homesteading the Hard Way if you haven't already, and subscribe to them. Tell them Smith Family Ranch sent you. But we got a little discussion with them where they feel, and their opinion is that miniature cows are a fad. And I'm here to say my opinion is that it's not a fad. I believe that there's a very good use for smaller size cows, miniature cows, for homesteaders, for people that want to get into livestock. I believe that they're useful. I know that Chris had said that on his side in North Carolina that they just didn't last very long. But let me take you guys around, show you guys our livestock. We breed and raise Aberdeen, which are a smaller size Angus cow. Not technically considered a mini because they don't carry the dwarf gene in them, which your miniature Jerseys, your miniature Herefords, and all your other traditional miniature cows could carry the dwarf gene, which some people prefer or not prefer. The Aberdeens, or Lowlines as they're formerly known as, do not carry the dwarf gene in them. And so come along with us and let's show you guys why we prefer the smaller breed cows for our homestead and why I don't believe that they're a fad. Alright, so the number one reason why we like the smaller frame cows is they're very docile. The Aberdeens, just like mini Jerseys and mini Herefords, they're very friendly, easy to work cows for just about anybody. So above and beyond docile, they're easy to work for beginner cattle people that want to get in any sort of cattle. They're less intimidating because they're not as tall and they don't weigh as much. Granted, we have a bull over here that we're able to be in pasture with right there. And he is very gentle. He's a great bull. He is 2.5 years old. Does a great job on the girls. Easy to work. And because of his smaller size, we are able to work him very easily. To the fact that it's not as intimidating being around him as it would be a full-size bull. So it makes having a bull less dangerous, as some people believe that having a bull on your property can be less dangerous or more dangerous. But having these smaller structured cows,
Come here.
as you can see here, so another reason why we like particularly the Aberdeen breed is their calving ease is next to nothing. They very rarely have problems. We should never have to pull. The two breeders that we've gotten all of our cows from have been doing these for 10 plus years. Never had any problems calving. We've experienced that firsthand on our property where Ferdinand, our future herd bull, was actually a shock. I think a morning or two later that all of a sudden we came out and we heard a bull calf mooing and didn't even know he was born yet. So the calving ease on these cows are awesome. It's nothing you have to worry about with pulling, which can be intimidating for somebody that's just getting new into cattle and not knowing what to do. And so that's another reason why we prefer the smaller animals. Okay, so another reason why we like the smaller framed animals or miniature cows on our property is they're easy on the fence. They can't see over the fence and they can't jump the fence. Go ahead.
When we first bought the property, we had purchased, what were they called?
Bringus.
Bringus. They were full size. His neck would come, it reached over the fence. So we had him for 2 months. We went out of town for the weekend and we were like, okay, did we have someone coming to watch him? No, because it was only for 2 days and we fed them, gave enough water, and it wasn't hot, so they weren't drinking as much water. Anyways, we got a call, or you got an email from the previous owner saying that the cows were out. Of course it would happen when we were not home for the first time. And
we were new cow owners like a month and a half, if that.
Yes. So our neighbors actually went and got them in, but they're just really hard on the fence.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened because we weren't here, but I think they got spooked somehow.
Well, let me give you a great example of how great they are along the fence. So when we first got our all boy, our new herd bull, Hazel, her baby, was going into heat. Well, he just paced the fence line and couldn't jump the fence because the fence is like a foot and a half taller than he is.
Yep.
So all he could do was pace, and he was going crazy as far as mooing and grunting and all that stuff, which actually helped us because then we ended up getting Hazel artificially inseminated, and we'll post a link to that video. But it helped us know when she was on track, and we were able to get her, Hazel, artificially inseminated on the first try because of that.
Yep.
But knowing that he can't really come across the fences, which a normal bull would have destroyed a fence,
Yeah.
And would have knocked her up for all intents and purposes, and it could have been dangerous. Which that's when a bull can be dangerous, obviously, is when there's females in heat and they want to go do what they're naturally inclined to do. So that's another reason why we love these smaller animals, because we don't have any fence problems. They're easier to work.
So with our previous cows, the Bringus, they were so big that I really did not want to get into the pasture with them. And as you can see, we're standing right here by All Boy, and he doesn't even care that we're here. He's not getting angry. He just doesn't care. I feel so much more safe, or is that a good word for it? Safe, being around these smaller cows. I've even gone up and walked beside him and pet him. I will take their grain and dump it in there, and they get a little crazy over the food. Yeah, pushy, that's a better word for it. But they don't come after you. You just have to watch your feet.
And your butt.
Why your butt?
Because they'll nudge your butt.
Yeah, they nudge you out the way. But they're small, so it's not like it really is that big of a deal.
Yeah, because it's at your butt instead of at your head.
Yeah, that is so true. So yeah, I mean, for a woman's perspective, I love the smaller cows because they're so much easier, docile to work with.
All right, so how about from homesteading? From maybe a small farm, hobby homestead, whatever you want to call it. Why are they a perfect cow for a homestead? Well, there's no denying that there's a little bit of a movement going on where people are buying land and moving out of the city. That's what we did. Mm-hmm. The problem is that if you want cows, these days it's not feasible to buy 100 or 200 acres. It's just, when you're looking at, let's just say a minimum of $1,000 an acre, that's $100,000, $200,000 just land without power, sewage, a house. Then you add all that on top of there, and you're going to be paying, close to $500,000, which we don't have, and not many people do. So the reason why they are perfect for a homestead is because if you get 5, 10, or 20 acres like we have, you can get multiple on there, and it can help generate some income. And even if you don't use it for an income base, you can breed your own stock so that you can have beef in the freezer. And then have other livestock on top of that. Instead of having 1 or 2 or 3 cows and be out of room because those cows need to take up the entire room, these cows allow you to have multiple cows and multiple animals. So we have pigs, we have chickens, we have 2 dairy cows, and we have plenty of Aberdeen cows. And so with these cows, they simply allow you to afford them really too, because if you're in a spot where you can get ag exemption on your taxes, these cows allow you to do that without being overdone on your land with only maybe even 1 or 2 cows.
So how many cows can we have?
So on a typical acreage, you can have roughly about 1 cow per half acre. So these cows eat about 1/3 less than what a normal full-size cow does. So the feeding of them is cheaper,
Yes.
which means your winter hay, your winter feed. We rotationally graze on ours during the summertime, so there's no cost there. All our cost is in the wintertime. And then of course, depending on how weather reacts with all that, will determine, how much hay bales we need. So this year, we've had our largest stock of cows. We also had to feed earlier
In September.
in September in the season.
The year before that, we didn't have to start feeding hay until November.
Yeah, and we're gonna go through probably 45 bales, maybe 50 bales of hay, which is actually relatively low when you think about it. It sounds like a lot, but we have 20 something cows on here total, and so that's 1 acre per cow is what we roughly have. And of course, some of them, like we have 3 steers that'll be butchered next year. We have a Jersey, full-size Jersey we're learning real quick that is eating us out of. Yeah, she's a lot more compared to these cows, which are low maintenance. So from a homesteading perspective, it makes a lot of sense to have these. And with so many people buying homesteads now, even if you had 2 acres, you could get at least 1 of these cows, maybe 2.
Get a steer, grow it out.
And you don't have to worry about fencing. They respect the electric fencing crazy.
You'll see that over here.
Which we'll take you guys over here onto this pasture, which is really our front lawn, that we have 5 heifers and a bull calf that we're breeding, or that we're raising up as our future herd bull. That's Ferdinand. And so we'll take you guys over there and show you guys exactly how they do it, or how we do it over here for them. And then to show you guys another example of how easy these cows are. So Ferdinand's over here, and all that separates him and some heifers that could be breeding, but I just prefer them to breed at 15 months. So they're going into heat. They technically could be bred. They're just not old enough for what I like to do. And he's been going crazy because they go into heat. But he's maintained in a 3-strand electric fence, and that's it. And you'll see, we'll show you, there's only a driveway that separates the 2 of them. So from a homesteading side of things, these are perfect cows with small land that is being gobbled up like crazy, because
that's all there is.
Let's face it, most people can't afford 100, 200 acres anymore like they could before, and it is what it is. So
there's only a lot of places are only selling land with, say, 15 to 40 acres too. There's not a whole lot of property that is for sale that has a house with 200 acres.
Right.
Sometimes they'll even separate it and sell them smaller. I don't know if they can get more money off of that, but.
So do I think it's a fad? No, I think it's actually going to start exploding. And I think it's going to explode even more in popularity because of the fact that there is a movement of people that don't trust the food system anymore, that don't want to be a part of it even. And they want to start raising their own food. Well, they get out of the city and they can raise on 2, 3 to 5 acres a cow, or 2 or 3 cows, and start going with the smaller frame cows and be less intimidated. Be easy on all the equipment, so there's less expenses of fencing to have to continue to repair and all that good stuff. And so this is why I don't think that it's a fad. I don't believe that. I believe that it's going to explode. And not only that, on a regular size cow, you have to get them to a certain point in their meat, meaning they have to weigh a certain point to maximize any type of profitability, because on a regular size cow, they pay price per pound at any type of feed or sale barn, or even on Craigslist or Facebook, that everything is by price per pound, which that's starting to go up, because I think right now in our area in East Texas is about $1.25 a pound. Well, these cows, the great thing about them too is that you don't have to wait for them to reach their maximum size to get the maximum profit out of them. There's such a great market for them that they sell like hotcakes. Which, yeah, that might be a fad to some, which I could understand from where Chris Homesteading the Hard Way is coming from, is that could be a fad. Which, I'll ride a fad if that's the case, but I think with everybody going to these smaller tracks again, that it's just going to expand the market for these particular types of cows.
All right, guys, so those are our reasons why we don't think that the Aberdeen and or mini breed of cows are a fad.
Nope, I think they're very beneficial to any and all homesteads that just want maybe a handful of cows to a whole herd.
All right, guys, so thanks for watching. Go ahead, leave us a comment, leave us a like, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe.
And ring the bell.
Yes, please do that. Later.